Hello guys, it's good to have you back. From this video onward, we will be discussing mostly and we'll be working on different projects. Like in this video, I'll be teaching you how to build a simple trading bot that plays a buy trade when it sees a bullish candlestick and plays a sell trade when it sees a bearish candlestick. So that's the project we are working on in this video. So I'll divide it into various different steps. This first stage, we are going to discuss how to retrieve the candlestick data like I discussed in the last video. But if you've not watched the last video, you can still proceed. I'll make it as explanatory as possible. Then we'll define the condition using if and else statements, which means we'll define if and else condition, like if the close price is greater than the open price, which means that is a bullish candle, or if the or if the close price is lower than the open price, which means it's a bearish candle. I will show you how to place the entry, how to place the stop loss, and also how to place the take profits. And lastly, I'm going to show you how you can prevent trade on every tick. So basically that is what we'll be doing in this video. Now the first thing you need to do is to create a file, an expert advisor file. If you remember in the first video, I said you navigate to file. Once you open file, then choose the type of expert advisor you want, type of trading bot you want to create. Like if I want to create a script, I will click on this. But want to create an expert advisor, I'm going to click on expert advisor brackets templates. Then go to next. Let's give the bot a name. Let's name it bullish underscore bearish underscore bot. Let's name the bot that. So immediately click on next, finish, then this page will be created for you. Like I said earlier, let me copy the information here. Oh, so I think I need to explain what we mean by comment in MQL5, the way you can comment a message. For example, let's say you want to write something in your meta editor, but you don't want it to affect your code. There are two ways you can do that. You can use /, then write what you want to write. Hello, this will not affect your code in any way because of this this double slash that you've added. For example, if I did not add it, you see I will get an error. But if I add it, which means the computer is going to ignore anything I write after this. Or another way you can do it is if you want to write multiple lines of comments, you can just use /*, then go to another line, then put */ then it means anything you write in between here is going to be added as a comment. So basically that's how to add comments in MQL5. That is what I did here by typing out this. Now, as I said earlier, the first thing you need to do is that we need to retrieve the candle data. We need to know the open price, close price of each and every candle, so that we'll be able to know if the candlestick was bullish or bearish. Now, you need to declare a double variable because most of the data are double, which means number that has a decimal point. You can see here all the price data, the close prices, the open prices are all double data type because they have decimal points and they have numbers after them. Now let's declare a double variable for close underscore price. It must be an array. Remember I said array is like a place in the computer where you can store different data, but the data must be the same data type. For example, if you want to store like the close prices, you can just declare a close price variable for double data type. Then we declare another double data type for open price. This is where we are going to store our open prices, right? Then we need for, in case we might need it later on, let's just declare another double array variable for our I price, I underscore price. Then for our low price, double low underscore price, underscore price. Now we have an array to store the close price of different candles open price of different candles, high price of different candles, and low price of different candles. And you remember in the last video I also explained the meaning of array set as series, because if you want to store this data for the close price, open price of double variable, you can start copying from the first candle of the chart or the last candle on the chart. So if you want the copying to start from the first candle, which means you are going to use the array set as series function. Remember, the array set as series function, you open a bracket, then you input the name of the array, the identifier for the array, Control V, then add true, which means the copying for the data should start from the current candle to the last candle. I think if we did not use, if we set this to false, it means it will start copying from the first candle, which means the first candle that existed before this one formed, but we want it to start from the latest candle and not the first candle. So we are going to use true. So we are going to do the same thing again for the open price. The same thing again for the high price, and the same thing again for the low price, which means the copying should start from the latest candle, the current sticking candle, to whatever. So after then, remember I said the function that has already been created by MQL5 that you can use to copy the candle data. You can use, for example, if you want to copy the close price of these candles, you can use the copy open function. Then inside this function is you can type underscore symbol, which means the current symbol on the chart. You can see here, which means the current symbol is volatility 101s. Had it been it was 0 USD, it will automatically, the bot will automatically find the symbol on the chart. So underscore symbol, then the time frame, we can choose period. Current will mean the current period. If you want to use D1, we can just choose period D1, but we don't want that. We want to use period current, which means any time frame you put the bot is going to automatically work. Where do you want this copying to start from? Right, this is what you can see here in start position. You can, if you want it to start from this current sticking position, you put 0. If you want it to start from this second bar, you put 1. If you want it to start from here, you put 2. So for example, we don't need this current sticking bar, we want it to start from this second one. And remember I said counting in programming or in MQL5 start from 0, which means this first candle here, the current sticking candle, the latest candle, this is represented by index 0. The next one is represented by index 1. So let us just ignore this current candle and start from this second one. So if you want to do that, you are going to put 1, which means start from 1. Then the next parameter says how many bars do you want to copy. Since we are only using the last bar, because now this current candle immediately it's closed, we are going to place a buy trade because it was bullish. But let's just say we want to copy 2 candles, copy data for 2 candles. You can see here, this is 1, 2. This is count starts from 1, indexing starts from 0. So we can say we want to copy this and this, which means we want to copy the data for last 2 candles. Then the next parameter is saying what is the name of the array, the identifier for the array that you want to store this data that you want to copy. Then here we can just input close price, right? Then at the end of the line add the semicolon, which is a normal syntax in MQL5. The next one we are going to use the copy, no, this is open, this should be, because we use copy open. Okay, let's just change this to copy close, right? Because we want to copy the close price. Then this next one want to copy open, then open parenthesis underscore symbol, right? Good, which means the current symbol, period current, which means the current time frame on the chart start from index 1. Then we only copy 2 data for 2 candlesticks, that's the count. Then the array that you want to store the data in, open price. Good. At the end of the line, what should we do? Add a semicolon. Then the third line, copy. Want to copy the I price? You use the copy I function, the predefined function by MQL5 underscore symbol, right? Which means the current symbol on the chart. Anytime you activate the bot, then the current time frame on the chart. Then what do you want to start? You want to start from index 1, which means the second latest candle. This is 0, this is 1, the second one is 1. Then after that, how many data of how many candles do you want to copy? That is the count, which means just 2. Then the array you want to copy it in, that will be I price. That's good. Add the line with a semicolon. Then you copy the third bar to the data for the third bar. Use the copy low because we want to copy the low price of these candles. Then use underscore symbol. If you are following along, comma, period, current. The current bar starts from index 1. Remember, indexing starts from 0, but count starts from 1. You get? Now, in a case like this, you said index 1, which means this is 0, this is 1, which means you are starting from here. Then count how many? 1, 2. Count starts from 1, indexing starts from, count starts from 1, indexing starts from 0. So we only want to copy data for 2 bars. Then what do you want to copy here? The array low price. So now that we've successfully copy the close price, open price, high price, and the low price, sometimes you might make a mistake somewhere and you want to confirm if you are correct or not, if you are copying the right data. Now let's use the print function to print out all this to see if we are correct. Let's print out the close price for index 0. Let's print it out to see what it is going to bring out for us, which means comma close price, then index 0, which means print out the index 0 close price. Okay, semicolon, getting an error, compile, right? Go back to your MetaTrader 5, search for the name of the bot, bullish, bearish bots. Okay, good. You can see that once I print it out, it is showing me 9044.6. Let me remove the bots. You can see that. Okay, let me explain this. You can see that as the market is ticking, it keeps printing. This is different between an expert advisor and a tick. Why? Because we wrote the code inside the on tick event handler, which means as long as the market keep ticking, the code will keep running, and we are saying it should print out the close price for index 0, right? Index 0 is, if you want that to stop, you need to like remove the bot from your chart. You can see here that the close price for index 0 is 9044.6. Now let's come to the chart. Place the candlestick, place the cursor on this. You can see here the high price. Okay, the close price is 9044.6. You can see it on the chart here. So basically that's the way it works. It means we are copying the right data. And if you want to copy the open price, let's do it this way. The open price for index 0 just changes to open price. We compile and run the code. The 9037.68. Let me come here. Can you see the open price is 9037.68, and if I change it to index 1, it will copy the, if I change it to index 1, compile, instead of it to copy this first one, it will copy this second one, which is this indecision candle here. Let me just come here, which means the open price for the index 1 candle, bullish, bearish, but run it. You can see 9036.84. If I place the cursor here, 9036.84. Can you see? Which means we copied the right data. You can play around and print other data that you want to see if you are doing the right thing. Now that we've copied the data, the next thing is for us to look at the conditions that will work. When we are saying the purpose of this bot is that I want to place a buy trade when there is a bullish candle. I want to place a sell trade when there is a bearish candle. Now the logic for a bullish candle is that the close price must be higher than the open price. You can see here, this is a candle, right? This means this is the open price, this is the close price. That means it is bullish. Why? Because the close price is above the open price. And this is a bearish candle, right? This is the open price and this is the close price, which means the open price, the close price is lower than the open price. Now this is what you will do if you want to. That we are not considering this current sticking candle. We are starting from here. We are placing our index 0 on here, which means the condition will be something like if, right, open, no, let me put it that way, if close price 0, right, is greater than open price 0, that means it is bullish. Then you write what you want it to do here, print, right, what should it print? Bullish bar. Which means if the close price of the last candle is greater than the close price of the last candle, that means it is bullish. Then how do you know it is bearish? You say if close price 0 is less than open price 0. What does that mean? It is, let me just copy this. You can use the else if statement, but I prefer to use the if bearish, bearish bar. Add this, don't forget to always add a semicolon and a semicolon. Copy. You can see that, let me use the comment instead of print. Let me use comment. The comment, compile. If I run the code, it will check this bar if it was bullish or bearish, right? Let me come here, bearish, bullish. What's it saying? Bullish bar. Why? Because this bar, the index 0, which is this, no, this is the first one, but we are not considering this. We are placing the index 0 here, which means this bar is what is bullish. If I go to, let me change the time frame to see. You see that it has changed to bearish bar. Why? You can see that this second bar, this bar here, this index 0 is a bearish bar. Why? Because the close price is less than the open price. Let me change to 1 minute time frame. It should also be bearish bar. Why? Because the close, you can see that the close price is lower than the open price. Let me change the time frame to something higher. Let me change to H1. If you say it is bullish, it has changed to bullish bar. Why? Because the previous bar, the close price is greater than the open price. So that's the way it works. Now, but the main focus of this project is that once it sees a bullish bar, it should place a buy trade, and once it sees a bearish bar, it should place a sell trade. For example, instead of commenting this bullish or bearish bar, what it's going to do is that it is going to just execute a sell trade or buy trade. You can see here the last bar, not the ticking one, this bar, which I consider as index 0, is a bearish bar. So now that we've defined the condition that when the close price is greater than the open price, that implies that the candle is bullish, and when the close price is less than the open price, that implies that the candle is bearish. Now, which means anything we want the bot to do, we are going to write the code inside this bracket. So instead of commenting this message, we want it to buy in this scenario, right? And we also want it to sell in this scenario, which means we will be doing some things that we've not talked about before. The next thing you have to do here, for you to give your bot the authority to place both buy and sell trade, this is what you will do. I might be explaining some things you don't understand, but just vibe along with me. As time goes on, you get to understand me better. We have to add the include file by using hashtag include. Just type this. I will explain the include file maybe in the next video, but I'm definitely going to explain it in the future. Type hashtag include, then in front of the include on that same line, type in less than, then type in trade, right? Then type in slash, then type trade.mqh, then end it with greater than sign. Once you are done with that, go to the next line, type in C trade, then type trade, then end the line with a semicolon. So let me explain what include file means briefly. Include file is, they are like file where you can write different functions. Now from your normal, let's say I have a include file where I store different functions. Now from my code, in this particular code now, I can access the functions in that include file, but I won't go deep into that. Maybe in the nearest future, I'm going to explain what it does. But just make sure you type exactly this thing that I just typed. Include, then less than trade slash trade.mqh, then end it with a greater than, then on the next line type in C trade, then trade, end it with a semicolon. Then the next thing, I need to show you how to get the ask price, because we'll be needing it. This is our ask price, the current ticking market price. This is what we refer to as the ask price, right? If you want to get the ask price, you can see that the current ask price is always double. Why? Because it always has decimal points. And for you to get the ask price, you are going to declare a double variable where you store the ask price, then give it an identifier. Let me just name it ask underscore price, then equals, then type symbol. This is a function to get the ask price, symbol info double. Now inside that function, you can see the first parameter is saying you should enter the name of the symbol, but you can just use underscore symbol. Then you can use symbol ask and the line with a semicolon. Type exactly this. This will help you get the ask price, which means anywhere you use ask underscore price is going to replace it with the current ask price. Now to place a buy trade, this is what you will do. You will come inside this curly bracket, which says when the close price is greater than the open price, you should place a buy trade. This is what you will do. You just come in and type trade dots. If you want it to buy, just type BUY, then open the parentheses. This one is saying the volume, which is the lot size. What lot size do you want to use? Let's say I want to use 0.6 lot size, right? Use a comma. Then the next one is saying which asset or instrument. So you can just use underscore symbol, which means the current symbol on the chart, then comma. The second one is saying the double price. You can just use ask price. It's asking you for the ask price there. Input the ask price. Then the next one is saying where do you want your SL to be? For example, let's say, let me zoom in the chart. This was a bullish candle, right? If you place a buy trade, you can just place this. You can place the stop loss at the low price of the candle. You can just come here that the stop loss should be low price index 0, right? Add the comma. Then where do you want the TP to be? If you are trading like Euro USD, you can say the TP. If you want the TP to be the TP should be 5-10 pips away, you can just say ask price plus 0.0010. That means like 10 pips, but it depends on the type of assets you are using. But you can see that in this type of asset, if we can't use 0.00, but because it will be too tight, we can just say we can just add 9045 plus 10. If you want to say 10, you can just use 10 instead of 0.00, depending on the point system of the asset. So if I use 10, then end the line with a semicolon, which means anytime the close price is greater than the open price, is when we get a bullish candle, then the bot should place a buy trade. The lot size should be 0.6. The symbol should be the current symbol on the chart. The ask price, then where do you want the stop loss to be? The low price of index 0, the low price of the index 0. Then the take profit should be ask price plus 10 points. You can see that in this case they are using points, not pips. If you are going to use pips, you are going to use pips for assets that has like maybe 1 point something, blah blah blah. That's the way it works. Then if you want to place a sell trade, you can just come here, type in trade dot sell, right? Open the brackets, type in the lot size 0.6, a comma, then the symbol underscore symbol, which means the current symbol on the chart, comma, then the ask price, comma, the next thing is your SL. So now you see that if you place a sell trade, for example, if you place a sell trade for a bearish candle, you can say the stop loss should be the I price of that candle. So you can just use I price index 0. Then your take profit should be ask price. Since the take profit for a sell is always less than the entry point, it should be ask price minus 10 points and a semicolon. Let's compile and run the codes to see. Now let's test the bots on our MetaTrader 5. Remember, we don't consider this particular ticking candle because it is still ticking and it hasn't decided yet if it's going to be bullish or bearish. So this is our index 0, this is our index 1, index 2, and index 3. So if we are going to place a sell trade, it's going to check, look at this particular candle if it was bearish, and if we're going to place a buy trade, it's also going to check this particular candle if it was bullish. So now let me activate the bot. This bearish bar. But remember, because of the on-tick event handler, the bots will keep buying, or keep selling on every tick. But I will also show you how to prevent that in the video. And secondly, you need to make sure that this particular algo trading is allowed and it is showing green. Make sure you also allow it here. So if I click it now, it's going to keep placing sell trade because this particular candle was bearish. So now let's execute the trade, and the stop loss is going to be the I price. So let's activate the bot, and let's see if, let's check what is wrong. Can you see it's immediately placed a sell trade? The stop loss was placed at the high price of this candle, and the take profit was 10 points away. So, but let me remove the bot so that it will not keep buying. I'll also cancel all the open trade. Now the next step is to explain to you how to prevent trade on every tick. This is what we will do. The first thing is that we are going to declare a date time variable to hold an a ordinary. Let me just declare a date time variable, name it last underscore bar last trade time. Let me just a random this thing, declare it as 0. Once you declare a random date time variable, make sure it is declared in the global space, not in the on-tick function. Then the next thing is that inside the on-tick function, you can just come here, declare another date time variable. Then you can name this current underscore bar underscore time. Once you do that equals, then you can use the I time function. The purpose of the I time function is to get the open price of bar. Like if you want to get the open price of this current bar, or this one, or this one, or this one, that's the purpose of this function. Is kind of different from the copy time function, but don't worry. So the first parameter of the function is the symbol. So you just use underscore symbol, then the time frame, which is the current time frame on the chart, then the shifts, let's say 0, let me end the line with a semicolon. So if you use this function and you want to get the open price of the latest bar on the chart, you use index 0, which means this ticking bar. If you want to get the second one, you change the shift to 1, which means you want to copy the open price of this one. If you want to copy the open price of the third bar, you use 0 1 of you use 2. If you want to copy the fourth one, you use 0 1 2 3, you use 3. But now we are only after the ticking bar, right? Let me just copy the open price of this open price. Once you do that, you know the first daytime is 0, right? Which means it accounts to nothing, right? This is what you will do. You know that this current bar time is always updating with the with a new bar. If there is a new candlestick, it's going to update. So you need to add a condition that, and if the current bar time is not equals to, what's the name of this function again? Last trade time is not equals to last trade time. What this condition is saying is that the bot should only execute a trade when current bar is not equals to last trade time. And obviously, last trade time is 0 and the current bar is not 0 because it will be the open price of this current bar ticking. Now, if you compare both and you say that, okay, they are not the same, what should the bot do? Execute the trade. But after executing the trade, then turn last trade time is equal to current bar time, right? The first thing the bot will do is to compare these two prices. If they are not equal, it will execute the trade. Now, immediately after executing the trade, then it will change last trade time from 0 to current bar time, which means last trade time is no longer 0. It is now is equals to current bar time. So with that, because it is now is equal to current bar time, to make this condition invalid, then it will not execute a trade again until the next bar. You know that once the next bar shows up, it means the current bar time is going to update. Then automatically it will not be equals to again. Then it will execute just once, and after executing the trade, it will change last bar time to current bar time again. Let me do the same thing for. So you see, when it comes to programming, if you are just starting, you don't need to understand everything in the beginning, but as time goes on, you get to understand it better. Just understand this syntax or this code on how to prevent the trade on every tick. Let me do the same thing for a sell trade. Okay, and this, after it execute a trade, compile. So now let's run the code. If you run the code, you see that it will place a buy trade. Execute, place a buy trade. Why? Because this particular bar was bullish. I'm expecting it to place a buy trade. I don't know what is wrong here. Current bar time, period current times 0. Okay, now it worked. You can see that it executes a trade. The stop loss is at the low price of the bar, and the take profit is like 10 points away. Let me execute it again and see if it will work immediately after execution. Now, bearish bot, execute. Let me see. Yeah, you see that immediately I execute it, it placed a buy trade. Why? Because this particular candle was bullish. So because it was bullish, it executed a buy trade. The stop loss is at the low price of the candle, and the take profit is 10 points away. And you can see that it only executed once instead of multiple times on every tick in the market. Now it will not change again until there's another bar. Once another bar open, the bot is going to copy the time of the open price, compare it with the last bar time that we declared. If they are not equal, it will place another trade, then turn the last bar time into the current bar time again, wait until the current bar changes again. So basically that's how it works. I know sometimes it might sound complicating, but don't worry, as time goes on you will keep understanding it better, because when I first saw a code explaining this concept, it was very hard for me at first to understand, but as time goes on I started getting better and better and better myself. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any question, ask me in the comment section. I know sometimes it might be confusing, but don't worry, I will reply you immediately. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that when next I drop a video you will be notified.